What if the setup you keep losing on is actually a great setup? What if the problem isn't the pattern? What if the problem is you? I know that's uncomfortable to hear, but stay with me, because today I'm going to show you a price action trick that almost never fails. And I'm also going to show you why most traders take that same trick and lose money with it. The difference between those two traders? It has nothing to do with the chart. Don't go anywhere. In this video, I'm walking you through 3 critical lessons. Lessons that come directly from real trader mistakes. People who had the right idea but got the execution completely wrong. By the end of this, you'll understand price action differently, not as a pattern to spot, but as a story the market is telling you. And once you learn to read that story, everything changes. Let's get into it. Let me tell you about a trader named Ethan. Ethan is 26 years old, lives in Phoenix, Arizona. He's been trading for about 14 months. About 6 months in, he discovered candle patterns, hammer candles, engulfing candles, pin bars, doji candles. He studied every single one. He could identify them instantly on any chart. He was fired up. He genuinely believed he had found his edge. Can you relate to that feeling? Finding a pattern and thinking you finally cracked it? Here's what his first month of pattern trading looked like. Monday morning. He spotted a perfect bullish engulfing candle. Textbook setup. Big green candle. Completely swallowed the red candle before it. He entered immediately. Price dropped 80 pips. Lost a $100. Next week, another perfect bullish engulfing. He entered again. Price dropped again. Lost another $120. Third week. Same pattern, same entry, same result. He was following the rules. He was doing exactly what the courses told him. And he was losing money every single week. Why would a textbook pattern fail over and over again? Because Ethan was reading the candle. He was not reading the context. Here's the hard truth about price action patterns. A bullish engulfing candle in the middle of a downtrend is not bullish. It's a pause, a hesitation, a brief moment of rest, and then the trend continues right through his stop loss. But a bullish engulfing candle at a major support level, after a strong push down, after the sellers have been running the market for days, that's a completely different story. Same candle, completely different meaning, completely different outcome. Ethan was buying the pattern. He should have been buying the story. This comes down to what psychologists call pattern completion bias. Once your brain recognizes a familiar shape, it wants to complete it. You see a hammer candle and your brain immediately fires. This means price goes up. It's not logic, it's a conditioned response. Like hearing the first 3 notes of a song and already singing the fourth in your head. Your brain fills in the rest before the market has had a chance to speak. And when you've already decided what the market is going to do, are you really observing it? Or are you just confirming what you already believe? That second thing, that's confirmation bias. You see the pattern you want to see. You ignore the context around it. You click buy. And then you're shocked when the context wins. Here's the rule. The context always wins. Not sometimes. Not usually. Always. Never trade the candle. Trade the candle inside the context. Before entering any price action setup, run this 3-layer check. Layer 1. What is the higher timeframe trend? If the daily chart is clearly trending down, stop looking for buys on the 1 hour. It doesn't matter how beautiful the bullish candle looks. You are swimming against a current that is stronger than your setup. Trade with the trend, not against it, not sideways to it, with it. Layer 2. Where is the pattern forming? Is it forming at a meaningful level on the chart? A level where price has clearly reacted before, a recent support, a resistance that just flipped to support, a pattern at a random spot in the middle of nowhere, mostly noise. The same pattern at a significant level with clean price history, that's your signal. Location is everything. Layer 3. What happened before the pattern formed? Was there a sharp, aggressive move into the level? And then did price slow down and form your candle? That slowdown tells you something important. It tells you the momentum behind that move is exhausted. the buyers fought back, or the sellers ran out of fuel. That's the story. That's what you're actually trading. Does this require more patience? Yes. Is it worth it? Every single time Ethan applied this framework, his win rate didn't double overnight, but his losses got smaller, significantly smaller, because he stopped taking trades where only the candle was right. He started waiting for the candle and the location and the story to line up. All three aligned, he trades. 2 out of 3, he waits. And that single habit changed everything. You're not looking for more trades. You're looking for fewer, better trades. Context turns a pattern from a guess into a high probability setup. That is the difference between trading and gambling. Now let me introduce you to Brandon. Brandon is 32 years old. He's a project manager from Seattle, Washington. Smart, organized, detail-oriented in his professional life. His trading, a different story. Brandon actually understood context pretty well, better than most people at his level. He waited for quality setups. He identified the trend. He found key levels. And he was still losing money. Consistently, month after month. What's wrong if your context is right but you're still losing? His entries were a disaster. Let me paint you the exact picture. Brandon sees a downtrend on the daily. Perfect. He identifies a key resistance level. Perfect. Price rallies up into that level and forms a strong bearish candle. Perfect. Context is clean. Setup is textbook. Everything checks out. And then he enters right at the close of that candle. Not at the level. Not at a refined point. Right at the close of the signal candle. What happens next? Price pulls back a little. Barely moves. Just a brief retracement. But that tiny pullback is enough to hit his stop loss. And then, right after he's stopped out, price drops exactly where he thought it would. He was right about the direction. He was just in the worst possible seat on the bus. Right direction. Wrong entry. Stopped out. Watched the trade run without him. Over and over. Same pattern. Same result. How many times has that happened to you? You called the move perfectly and still ended up losing money. Brandon's problem was FOMO, fear of missing out. He'd see the pattern and immediately feel urgency. That voice in his head saying, if I don't enter right now, I'll miss the entire move. So he'd click, right at the close of the candle. No refinement, no precision. The brutal irony? By trying to make sure he didn't miss the trade, he guaranteed he'd lose it. When you enter at the close of a big bearish candle, your stop loss has to sit wide. Wide stop equals bigger loss when it doesn't work. And here's what most traders don't know. Big candles almost always retrace before continuing. It's the market's natural rhythm. Push, pause, continue. Brandon entered during the push. He should have waited for the pause. FOMO doesn't just cost you money on bad trades. It costs you money on trades where you were completely right about the direction. That's the worst kind of loss, because it trains you to doubt your own analysis. When the real problem was never your analysis, it was your entry timing. Wait for price to come to you. Never chase price. Not once. Not ever. Here is what a precision entry looks like. You've done your context check. All three layers line up. Now here's what you do next. Step 1. Mark the level precisely. Not a zone, not a vague area, a specific price. The exact point where you expect price to react. This is your edge. This is where you want to be in the trade. Step 2. Set a limit order at that level. Not a market order, a limit order. You tell the market, if price comes back to this specific level, I want in. Then you walk away from the screen. You stop watching. You stop waiting. You live your life. Step 3. Let the trade come to you. Either price comes to your level and fills your order, or it doesn't, and you missed a trade. That's completely okay. There will always be another setup tomorrow. Can you see how the math completely changes just by waiting a little longer? When you enter at the level and not at the candle close, your stop is much tighter. Tight stop means smaller loss if the trade fails, and your target hasn't moved, so your reward is the same. Better entry, same target, dramatically better risk to reward. Brandon applied this one change, just this one. He started using limit orders at his levels instead of market orders at candle closes. His first month, he missed 3 trades. The limit order never filled. But the 2 trades that did fill, both winners, because he entered at the edge of value and not at the moment of maximum FOMO. Precision entry isn't about being slow. It's about being smart with where you place your risk. Entry point determines everything: your stop size, your reward potential, your stress level. Get the entry right and everything downstream gets easier. Last story. And this one might be the one you feel most personally. This is about a trader named Ashley. Ashley is 29 years old, lives in Nashville, Tennessee. She works in marketing full-time and trades part-time. She's actually very good at the setup side of trading. Her context checks are clean. Her entries are solid. She has real skill, real potential, but her account is barely growing. Some months up, some months down, never really moving forward. What do you think is going wrong for someone who reads price action well, but still can't grow their account? Ashley can't manage the trade once she's in it. Here's the scenario that plays out for her constantly. She enters a clean short trade. Perfect setup. Good entry. Price moves in her direction immediately. She's up $180 within the first hour, feeling great. Then price pauses. Small pullback. Normal price behavior. But Ashley starts to panic. She thinks, what if this is the reversal? What if I lose this profit? So she closes the trade early, takes the $180, and then watches price continue dropping another 400 pips. Her original target would have made her $520. She left 340s on the table because she was afraid. The next week, the opposite happens. She's in a trade that goes against her almost immediately. She's down $90. It's close to her stop loss. She thinks it's going to come back. It always comes back. She moves her stop loss further away, gives it more room. It doesn't come back. She loses $280 instead of $90. 2 trades, 2 emotional decisions, one in fear, one in hope. Together, they cost her $530 that week. Not because her analysis was wrong, because she managed the trade with her eyes and her emotions instead of a rule. Have you ever caught yourself doing exactly this? Closing winners too early and letting losers run too long? There's a Nobel Prize winning concept behind this behavior. It's called loss aversion. Losing $100 feels about twice as painful as winning $100 feels good. The pain of loss is stronger than the pleasure of gain. This creates 2 very specific problems in trading. Problem 1. When you're in profit, fear of losing that profit is intense. So you close early, you take the safe $180 even though the trade is still valid. You can't handle watching the profit shrink, even temporarily. Problem 2. When you're in a loss, hope overrides logic. You can't accept the loss, so you give the trade more room. You move the stop. You tell yourself it'll come back. You're not managing the trade anymore. You're bargaining with the market. And the market does not negotiate. The market doesn't know you're in the trade. It doesn't care about your feelings. It just moves. Ashley knew her target before she entered the trade. She set it based on logic, based on price structure. But the moment she was inside the trade, logic left and emotion took over. This happens to almost every trader who hasn't built a system to protect themselves from themselves. Because inside the trade, the stakes feel real. Your brain switches from analytical mode to survival mode. And in survival mode, you do irrational things. Cutting winners, holding losers, moving stops, closing too early, all in real time, all while watching a number go up and down. The only way to stop this is to make the decision before you're emotional. Make all your trade management decisions before you enter. Then do not touch the trade. This is called the set and step rule. You set your trade up completely before entering. Entry price, stop loss, profit target, all 3, locked in, before you click, and then you step away. Here's the exact process. Before entering, decide your stop loss and place it at the logical invalidation point, not where it's comfortable, where it makes structural sense on the chart. Decide your profit target based on the next key level. Set both as hard orders in your platform, not mental notes, actual orders. After entering, close the trading platform, not minimize, close. Go back to your life, your job, your family, your workout. Let the market do what it does. Either it hits your target and you get a notification, or it hits your stop and you get a notification. Either way, you followed your plan. And that is a successful trade regardless of the outcome. Does that sound too simple? Good. Simple is what works when emotions are running high. Now I know what you're thinking. What about adjusting the stop as the trade moves in your favor? That's called a trailing stop, and yes, you can absolutely use it. But set the rule for it before you enter. Example: once price moves 50% toward my target, I move my stop to break even. That's a rule. That's systematic. What you cannot do is move your stop on a feeling, on hope, on fear, on a gut sense that it's coming back. That's not trade management. That's emotional gambling. Ashley implemented the set and step rule in month 4 of her trading. The first week was uncomfortable. She had no idea what was happening in her open trades. It felt wrong. It felt like she was losing control. But that discomfort was the entire point, because it forced her to trust her analysis instead of her emotions. Her second month using this rule, her average winning trade was 2.4 times her average losing trade. She wasn't right more often, but when she was right, she stayed in it. And when she was wrong, she lost less. That's the entire formula for consistency. Stay in winners longer, cut losers faster. Let the system do the work. All right. 3 points. Let me make this simple. Point 1. Never trade the candle. Trade the candle in context. Run the 3-layer check before every trade. Higher time frame trend, location, and the story that led to the pattern. All 3 must align. Not 2, all 3. Point 2. Enter at the edge, not at the signal. Stop entering on market orders at candle closes. Use limit orders at your key levels. Let price come to you. Tighter entry means better risk to reward and less stress. Point 3. Manage with rules, not with eyes. Set your entry, stop, and target before you enter. Then close the screen and let the trade play out. Decisions made before entering are logical. Decisions made while watching the trade are emotional. Always trade before the emotion kicks in. That's the price action trick that almost never fails. Not a specific candle, not a specific pattern. The discipline to use price action the right way. Context, entry, management. 3 steps, every trade, every time. If this video gave you even one thing you can use, hit subscribe right now. New videos drop every week. Trading psychology, risk management, real mindset work. No hype, no nonsense. Just real trading education. And next week, we're covering something most traders refuse to face: how to handle a losing streak without blowing your account or your confidence. That video could literally save your trading career. See you there.